Hello, I hope you're doing great. So today we are going to discuss about how to create some of the basic actions for gathering items in your 3D video game. This prototype that we are building is basically a small game that allows you to build your city based on the resources you have been gathering, right? So for example, you have some buildings in there, they are going to be built on parts, right? So you have to go gather the resources, and as soon as you have enough resources, you will be able to build certain sections of the city, and the more you gather, the more sections you will be able to have until you have your city ready, right? And after that we will add more content. Today we are going to see just a small basis on how to do the gathering action. Before I continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and share the videos, hit like so we can get more subscribers. Also, please recommend the channel. Okay, so here basically we have a small prototype, very simple. It just have a couple of buildings and some placeholders, right? The player placeholder, some gathering points placeholders, and building materials placeholders and things like that, right? We don't even have like user UI interface nor that yet, but we will have it at some point. Okay, so how this is going to work? We'll see that here we have these buildings, right? This is a building. These two buildings are from the Quantum Theory package. I will put the link in the description. That's an excellent package. It has like a lot of buildings. They are modular. You can actually even build them on parts, and that's actually one of the features we are taking advantage of, so we can build our city on parts. Actually, you will be able to see that we will build each of these sections. So first the first floor, then there's a divider, then the second floor, then the third floor, and last the roof, right? So basically what I did is I created like a custom object, took the an empty game object and added the different parts, aligned them, and we are going to work with that. You will see that in here we have some components, custom components that we created, some scripts, and you will see that this one is named construction requirements, and it has a list of building materials. You will see all of the scripts in here. Basically we will have like the building materials. Building materials will be the resources that we are going to gather from certain points in the game, right? What we are going to call gathering points. The building material will be things like stone, sand, right? Here we have like a list: stone, sand, wood. We'll have more, right? But those will be the types. Those will be the building materials, the basis of the constructions we are going to do, right? Then we have the building materials requirements, which is this we are seeing. That script is the one we are going to assign to each of the components, because each of the different floors, for example, or parts of the buildings will have different requirements. So you will see that, for example, this specific one that I selected requires a total of 10 stones and a total of 20 sand, right, or pieces of sand. This is a prototype, so we don't really have a lore So the names are just something to be able to code fast. Then, sorry, this was the construction requirement to be able to construct that, right? So this is construction requirement, right? Construction requirement is, and each of these will have like different values that we can configure. Those will have also the total collected. So once we collect, or once we turn in the items to the building somehow, haven't defined that part. Actually, we'll probably have some NPCs in each section or something like that. Once we turn in the items, these will actually fill, and that section is going to be built. So let's say if this still works, because I have modified a lot, so you will see that the building is not there anymore, right? So let's say that now I have 10 of these, now I have 20 of these. You see that part will appear or will show up, right? Same with this. So it requires 10, it requires 20, right? This one requires 10, this one requires 20, this one requires 10, and this one requires 22. And you see that our building is actually already built. So that's the basis of what we are going to do. We have building materials right here. They are just placeholder to be able to clone the elements in case we need them, right? And creating the game objects. We have some selector to be able to select when gathering the points. Right now the selector is just a small cube. You will see that if I hit the right button, it will go to the to that cylinder that it's placeholder for the gathering point. Okay. So the construction requirements is basically a script that will have a list of building materials requirements, right? The building material requirement is going to tell, for example, for this material, this material requires, or this building or this part for this, or better said, the object where this script is being used is going to require this material in this amount, and we have collected this so far, and we just have there a private variable to indicate if it has been constructed or not, right? Building material is basically just a name. We created a seconds to collect variable because we want to wait some time, right? We don't want the node to be wasted immediately. We just want to wait some time. This is the selling price for the item, right? Because we are also handling currency. We already saw the construction requirement. This has the logic, so we will see it in a couple of seconds. The gathering point is basically, it has a material and the quantity that the quantity or the quantity or the pieces that this gathering point is going to have available for us to gather or collect, and the player script, right? So to gather. In the previous video, we showed how to do the input manager with this same placeholder, so you can go and see that uh, that video in order to continue if you don't know how to use the input manager to create the input actions that we are using in here for the movement, the rotation, the select next, and the gather. In the player script, I already have like a couple of actions implemented, right? We have the move, we have the rotate, we have the select next, and we have the gather. So the select next basically is going to find all of the objects that are of type gathering point, right? And it's going to select the next one available um, according to the distance, to the from the closest to the one who is longer to us, right, or further from us. Okay, so basically this is the code. There is not much to explain there. Just get the list of the gathering points, right? We ordered by the distance. Then we need to evaluate if there's only one, if we have it selected or not, right? Because if we reach the end of the list of gathering points that we have available to select, we need to go back to the first one. And there are some validations I haven't done in here, but they might actually be useful in some cases. This is not evaluating how far we are from the gathering points, right? I mean, it's getting all of the gathering points. So if I have a gathering point that is really, really close from a character, I shouldn't be able to gather it. Basically, I should be able to gather only the gathering nodes that are pretty much in front of my character at that moment, right? So there are some additional filters that could be done in here. We are using coroutines to be able to do some iterations, not blocking and not block the thread, right? And so the gathering actually happens behind the scenes, behind the scenes, yeah. So basically, once this finished, I set the gathering routine equals to gather items, right? Gather items is this method down here, and basically what it does is it has an iteration, right? We are going to yield or to wait a couple of seconds, which is going to be the actual seconds that selected material takes to collect, right? And we are going to do that for each of the available quantities on that gathering point. We are going to create a new instance of that material. We are going to add it to the list of collected materials. We are going to change the total items variable value, right? And then we are going to destroy the gathering point game object along with everything that it has with it. We set the gathering point reference to null, and then the current activity is going to be known. Currently this only have like known and gathering because that's the only thing that we are doing. And all that code, basically what it does is, okay, we have the select next, right? The select next is going to be the one that moves that selector indicator to close to the gathering point that I have selected, right? And when I hit the A or the south button on my gamepad, it will start collecting. You will see that as soon as I hit it, some game objects are going to be created on the on the hierarchy, and you will also see that in my player the collected materials is going to grow. So if I hit X, let's see, those are the actual items I have collected, right? And you see that the gathering point already disappeared, so that I cannot gather more items from that gathering point, because if I already gather everything it had, the nodes should be marked as exhausted, right? And if it's exhausted, we don't need anymore, so we better clean up the memory used by that game object. So that's pretty much it, a simple way to do gathering in your video game. Thank you very much. Hope you have liked the video. Have a great day, and please remember, subscribe to the channel, share the videos, and recommend it to every friend and persons you know so we can get more subscribers. Thank you very much and have a great day.